So I've been playing MFL now for a couple of weeks. Season 1 is underway. FC Barcelona has its squad in place and we are now starting to climb the leaderboards. We're looking to get promotion and we're fighting off in the cup as well. And lots of you guys have been really excited by the content that we've brought here for playing MFL Football Manager. And a bunch of you have got involved as well, which has been absolutely fantastic. And I get a lot of beginner questions from you guys like, Quinny, what's the best way to start? How much money do you need to get up and running? And ultimately, how long does it take to go from zero, like opening the account, to actually having your club up and running, fully fledged and ready to rock and roll and compete? And in the video today, I'm going to walk you through what I've done in my first couple of weeks to build my squad, where I've got my players from, as well as go through my top 3 beginner mistakes that I have made that you need to avoid. At any point in the video today, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. If you are brand new to MFL and you haven't even opened up your account yet, they're a sponsor here on the channel and you can open an account with all the beginner bonuses that are locked and loaded and ready to go, so you can get a head start on opening your account and get as far as absolutely possible by clicking on the link that's in the description of this video. By clicking on that link, you do support me and all the content here, so I do thank you in advance if you do so. If you get stuck or if you've got any questions, again, jump into the comment section, I'll come and sort you out. But yeah, let's just get stuck straight into this one. Because some of you guys might have caught the unboxing video where I opened up the account and just really went at it fresh with you guys, really trying to discover all the nooks and crannies, all the quirks and all the different angles that the game offers, as well as trying to work out, how do we get a strategy together, how do we get a philosophy into the club, and then how do we go and target a bunch of players. And quite simply, there is no substitute for just opening up the game and getting your hands dirty and really seeing how everything works in terms of, the market, how good your players need to be, what division you're going to compete in, etc. So I do really recommend checking that out. And the order of events, the sequence of events as it goes, when you do open up your MFL account, the first thing you need to do is get a club license. You need to open up your own club. These are $79.99 at the moment, and you get a few of them reserved for every new user. You can't just go into the market and buy 45 clubs, or you technically could because they do get sold on the secondary market as well. But if you're a new user just looking to come in and open up your account and all the rest of it, the first thing we need to do is pick up a club pack. Now, because I'm a partner with MFL, they did gift me my club license and a few packs to get us up and going, to see what cards we could get, what quality of players came out of them, etc. And then from there, I went out and we done some other bits and pieces that I'll come to in a second. But the very first thing you have to do once you open up your account and you get your club license pack, and I do recommend when you do get your club license pack, taking a minute or two, taking your time and actually setting the club up. You can go in and rebrand it later on this tab here, change the name, change the colours, the badge, all that kind of thing. But really, take your time and enjoy opening up the club, what you're going to call it, designing the badge, what league, Ice League is my club license here. Have fun with that. And then similar to my experience, the very first thing you have to be doing, and for me this was kind of beginner mistake number 1, because although I opened up the packs that I was gifted by MFL, I didn't come into the marketplace here, into the store, and actually buy my allotment. When you're a brand new user, there is starter packs that are allocated here at $6.99 that can contain 2 players in them. They're limited to new users only, so it's not a readily available pack you can just go and get at any point out of the shop until you've used your allocation, of course. And I do recommend buying these packs first before doing anything else, because £7 for 2 players is pretty cheap when you go into the individual market, and we'll look at all that in a minute. And if you get a little bit of pack luck, you might actually save yourself quite a few quid. But on top of that, you do need to build a squad, so even any guys that do come out of this pack that aren't like first team ready guys are definitely players that you can call upon immediately. You might need to use them later on for rotation or for 1 or 2 other reasons, which again we'll get into in the video. But don't forget that these packs are here as well, because even when you scroll down, these reward packs that you can buy for £2.50 for a common player, $12.50 for an uncommon, rares are at $65, and legendaries at $450 if you're going to be competing in those high roller leagues. These can offer some really good value compared to what we see in the market at the moment, because once I'd opened up my packs that MFL had given me, if you go and check that unboxing stream, you'll see one of the first things I did thereafter was I set my tactics. I picked a formation that I thought I would have some fun with, and then I went into the secondary market and I bought players from other MFL managers. I bought my Liam Mooney here for $21. I got Christoph Will for $17, Castagno for $18, and Florek for $17. So not that much, but I would have bought a lot of packs. So before you do anything, absolutely get your free starter packs that you can get here. There is chances that you get something wildly crazy out of them, and I would definitely recommend taking every advantage you possibly can by getting those cheap packs in sooner rather than later. But once you've done that, you don't need to do what I did and go out and buy actual players from the market. When we go into the scouting tab here, these are all the free agents that are listed out there. Now, every player that you actually own, you're actually the player's agent as well. So you can sign them to your own club and use them as you see me do with my squad, of course. But the players you're not going to use, or some people might even be playing this game just as a trader account where they look to bring in cards and then just loan them out, and then you don't need to worry about tactics and fixtures and all the rest of it. But when you come into this area here, you don't pay any money to receive any of the players. All you need to do is find the ones that are eligible for you by clicking on availability, and then change the accepted division to whatever division it is you're competing with. For me, that's Ice Division, and it'll automatically filter to all the cards that have got either no preferences available on them, or that the managers will auto-accept a bid from that division depending on some other criteria. If we click on the auto-accept button here, I've actually used this a few times to bring in some players into my club, and as you can see here, for the division I'm in, the Ice Division, the best player is like 59 rated. Depending on how good your squad is, a lot of these players might be viable, might be quite usable for you as well. And another good thing to have a look at here, a bit of a top tip if you like, when you're just looking at the free agent market, is checking this last active tab. So if you filter this by 3 days, a week or a month, this is then filtering the agent or the other MFL players and how active they are. So sometimes if they've not been active for a month, if you send an offer that's not on auto accept, it might take a little while for them to, reject it or accept it or whatever. But generally, people that have been active for the last couple of days or the last week, you've then got a higher probability of sending an offer and then maybe getting a response before the deadline. There is only some certain transfer windows where you can register players to your squad to compete in MFL competitions, and when you're ready to do business, you definitely want things to happen as swiftly as possible. And I've not really used enough of these for my liking, which is why I think the very first beginner mistake I've made is going into the secondary market a little bit too quickly and spending that money that I probably should have spent on packs. But the second one is definitely taking advantage of this a lot better. And you can see that when you come to look at the FC Barcelona squad and see how many players I own versus how many I've brought in. I've brought in Astua, who's a backup centre-back. I've brought in Stroma, who's a backup midfielder. De Kock, who is my backup goalkeeper. Ulas, who was my number one centre forward until I got a good player out of a pack, but now my backup. And then Diaco, who is a best 11 player for me from MFL Wonder Kids. He's 64 rated, and he actually came in available in that auto accept thing. And as soon as I seen a player of that standing, 64 rated for the Ice Division, in the auto accept thing, I just went and did the deal to get it done. So this player is on 8% revenue share, and you can see how much I've given away on these other ones here. Now, you definitely should be thinking about an overall threshold that you don't want to part with when building your club. If you're looking to build a club for as cheaply as possible and you're looking to bring in a full squad of free agents, as it were, then you will need to accept that you will be giving up a lot of percentage, but you will want to keep a hold of some of it in case you do go on to glory, you do bag some wins. You want to be able to reap the rewards of that for yourself and try and move your own club on. So definitely that's something I've maybe not given away as much rev share as I probably should have to bring in some slightly better quality players and cards to make my squad a lot better, because I don't know, I got tight. I started thinking, I actually want to just try and do my best with who I've got and keep all of the winnings to myself. But across these players I've brought in here, we're giving away somewhere like 25%, 23% of rev share, which I think is a really lean number. But I do think I could have done with another little bit of quality into the squad, and I would have maybe allowed that to go up to the 35% mark if I could have rounded off my edges in my club a little bit better. So I definitely feel that utilising the scouting tab, and especially the free agents, and regularly checking the auto accept criteria is two massive things I would have done a little bit differently. I feel that I've made big beginner mistakes on, and as much as my club is in a pretty good place, I'm really happy with the composition of my squad. It's definitely not perfect. It's definitely not as best as I could have made it. And for any of you guys watching this, they're the top two things certainly to make sure that you do when you're looking to get your club started and build your roster. But on the flip side to that, I actually made a bit of an agent of myself, by seeing the amount of players I was bringing into the club through the packs and then on the secondary market and the referral rewards from you guys that are jumping on. I ended up with some guys that were halfway okay that I knew were not going to make it into my squad, and maybe I'd brought in some players like the backup centre-back. I didn't actually need him anymore, so I got my own players. But rather than sitting on them, I thought I'll be the agent and let's loan them out. And we've seen Barbero here join Shaforkle, so that's good to see. One of my goalkeepers has went to Gaston Club. Palma, who was one of my better strikers, has went to Cracovia here, and a left back, another left back, I ended up with a lot of left backs, has actually went into the Stone division, which is a division above me with Womb Elephants. So I really hope that those guys do pretty well, and maybe we'll get a little bit of rev share back from them. But although I'm bemoaning me buying these 4 guys rather than buying some packs and all the rest of it, once you've used the free agency, once you've, opened the packs, for me, the next stop is just going on to the direct market itself. And we can just click on Marketplace here, and you can see all the players that are just listed to sell. So when you buy these guys, you also become their agent. You fully own them. You're not just loaning them in for 1 to 3 seasons, depending on the agreement you reach. But I definitely recommend coming in here and targeting specific players, mainly like goalkeepers, strikers, key components that you've not managed to get out of packs or from the free agency market. And for me, like goalkeepers, strikers, guys that make the difference between keeping goals out or putting goals in the back of the net is where you should be focusing any residual capital or funds or whatever it is you want to think about to get your club up and running. And yeah, like once you've then tried your pack luck, you've went around the market to do whatever, you can then just be laser focused and go, we need a quality keeper, we need a captain midfielder, we need another left back, we need 2 right backs, whatever it might be. And the great thing about this system as well is you can filter by the overall rating that they have. And overalls aren't the be all and end all. It must be said, I'm much more keen on individual statistics here. For goalkeepers that only get an overall, to be quite honest with you, but when we look at other positions like striker, for example, having the option to maybe just lift the pace up a little bit. We don't want anyone that's slow. We need them to have a certain degree of pace about them. Let's lift that up. Shooting can't be any less than a certain amount to fit into the quality of the club or the team or the competition you're going for. And this just filters out really, really nicely for you. And you can see all the players that fit the criteria that are available. And then it's about you doing the best you possibly can. And that takes me on to my third and final beginner mistake that I made when starting my account and building my roster that I wouldn't want any of you guys to make, and it is the MFL Discord. Now, because this is all very manager to manager interactions and the the on-site marketplace, it doesn't have a chat function, doesn't have any message options. I do recommend opening up the Discord, getting into the MFL Discord, creating a username and stuff. If you're not on Discord, just do it. It'll take 2 seconds, and then from there you can directly contact any of the managers that are on there about any of the players that they have listed, or maybe even some players that they haven't had listed that you have found through scouting and looking at clubs and looking at players available that would fit into your club. And when you can get into a direct dialogue with some different managers, there's definitely huge possibilities and chances to do like batch orders, maybe bring in 3 or 4 guys from the one manager and structure the deal accordingly so that it works out for both of you. For me personally, like I was aware of this but decided not to do it for one simple reason, and that was MFL actually did gift me some stuff when I did start the game, and it did give me like that kind of running head start because I didn't need to buy packs and stuff like that. So I did feel that if I were on Discord and started getting favors from people and doing all this kind of stuff and building like a real Harlem Globetrotter superstar squad, I would have felt uncomfortable with it a little bit. I'm quite happy to take my bumps. I've had, some nice things come my way because we make content here on the channel. And yeah, I would have felt uncomfortable if I'm then going into Discord and trying to get wacky deals off people and get all sorts of high quality cards into the division. Because I do want to, live and die on the merit of FC Barcelona and on my, decisions with the tactics, the squad, my preferences with all the stuff that goes into this game. And after 4 games, we're only on 4 points, sadly. We won our first game of the season, which was great, and then it's been a little bit downhill from here. And I'm still really trying to work out the tactics as well as the squad management angle on it as well, because they're starting to lose fatigue, they're starting to lose fitness, and I've been rotating more and more for the cup games when they've came around. But we really need to, and again, I'm realising now some of the stuff I've said to you earlier that I've not really rounded off the edges as well as I would have liked coming into this initial period, and I'm rather looking forward to the mid-season transfer window. But I do think at that point the market is going to be really exciting to watch, and I think there could be some great opportunities for maybe some XS cards that come into the club that maybe could be shifted on, as well as maybe trying to get a deal or 2 over the line to, I say, round off some of these edges and really push for promotion. I've had so much fun with this game. I really do hope you can tell through this that I've I've put a lot of time into over the last week getting ready for season 1, trying to trim the tactics, playing with different loadouts, whether it be my cup team, my plan A. I had some other tactics in here that I've now deleted and I'm kind of refining through, as it were. But this is a proper football management game. It's definitely got some kinks and some quirks to work out still with the match engine and how teams beat each other and that kind of thing. But I've had a lot of fun with it so far. And, you know, for season one, I'm kind of writing off the cup. I really don't expect to go far in the cup. I'm using that more to relieve the fitness, kind of rejuvenate my first team, as it were. I really want promoted out of Ice League, League One, and up to whatever's next after this, Stone 13 or whatever it might be. I'm not too sure. But hopefully for any or all of you that are opening your account and getting started today, you can use these beginner mistakes that I've made to your advantage. Make sure you open up your club, you acquire your cards in that right sequence of events, just to make sure really you don't waste any money, you don't overpay on a player that you might have got out of a pack anyway, or buying guys off the market that you could have got a free shot of for 1 to 3 seasons anyway. And rather than suffering in silence, sending offers out there and just waiting for them to get rejected, jumping into the Discord and being a little bit more proactive with it in terms of the actual roster build, the squad construction that you're getting up to. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this on screen, and now some other stuff that we've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one.